There's a reason no one teaches you this, not because it's hidden or complicated or rare, but because it doesn't feel important while it's happening. Most lessons people talk about come with noise, mistakes, consequences, clear warnings. This one doesn't. It blends in. You don't notice it starting. There's no moment where things change, no decision you remember making. Just a quiet shift that feels normal because nothing hurts yet. That's why it goes unnoticed. No one teaches you that most of your life is shaped by what you don't decide. Not the big choices, not the dramatic ones, the small delays, the pauses that feel harmless, the not now moments that don't feel like a problem. Because nothing breaks, nothing collapses, everything still works. And that's the trap. People think mistakes come from doing the wrong thing. They don't. They come from doing nothing for too long, from waiting without a deadline, from assuming clarity will arrive on its own. No one explains that time doesn't need effort to move. It doesn't need permission. It just needs silence. And silence looks responsible. It looks patient. It sounds like, "I'll get to it." That phrase doesn't feel dangerous. It feels reasonable. That's why it works. You don't feel time passing when each day looks similar to the last. Weeks blur, months compress, years soften at the edges. Nothing feels urgent until suddenly something feels distant. Not impossible, not forbidden, just far away. That's when people get confused. They say things like, "I don't know how I got here," but they do. They just didn't notice because nothing went wrong. No one teaches you that comfort can delay you longer than fear ever could. Fear is loud. Fear demands attention. Comfort whispers. It tells you you're fine. It tells you you're early. It tells you there's time. And because nothing hurts, you believe it. Eventually, something subtle happens. Not a breakdown, not a crisis. Just a realization that certain options don't feel available anymore. Not because someone took them away, but because they were never chosen. That's when people say, life happened, or it just worked out that way. But it didn't just happen, it accumulated. No one teaches you that waiting feels the same whether you're waiting for clarity or waiting to avoid discomfort. They feel identical from the inside. That's why it's hard to explain. That's why it's hard to warn people. Because if someone told you this earlier, you wouldn't believe it. You'd think it didn't apply to you. Everyone does. That's the strange part. This lesson only makes sense once you've lived inside it long enough to recognize the pattern. Not because you failed, not because you weren't capable, but because nothing forced a decision. Time doesn't force you. It just moves forward while you assume it will wait. No one teaches you that the most expensive cost isn't failure. It's delay. Because delay feels safe, and safe doesn't ask questions. Until one day, you notice the question isn't there anymore. That's when people feel regret. Not because of what they did, but because of what quietly passed without resistance. If this feels familiar, you're not alone. And if it didn't, it might later. That's why I'm leaving this here. Not as advice, not as a warning. Just as something worth noticing sooner than most people do. If this made you stop for a second, leave a comment. You don't have to explain it. Even a single word is enough. And if you want to hear more things people usually realize too late, you'll probably want to subscribe. Not because you need reminders, but because noticing earlier changes things. This isn't a rule. It's just something that becomes obvious later than anyone expects, something no one teaches you.